Thank you for staying with us on World Now. Ukraine and its key European allies have outlined 5 conditions for what they call a just and lasting peace with Russia. And following talks in London with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz reaffirmed their support for Ukraine and called for an immediate halt to the fighting. The proposed framework includes a ceasefire negotiation based on current battlefield realities and strong security guarantees for Ukraine. The leaders also stressed that the United States must remain actively involved in any peace process. The announcement comes as fighting intensifies. Ukrainian drones recently struck targets near Russia's second-largest city, St. Petersburg, while Russia continues missile and drone attacks on Ukrainian cities. Meanwhile, Kyiv is damaging a spent nuclear fuel storage facility. No injuries were reported and radiation levels remain stable. Zelensky called the attack vile and renewed his call for direct negotiations with Russian President Vladimir Putin, who says the war will end only when Russia's objectives are achieved. We have this conversation with global affairs analyst Ejike Okpa. Thank you for joining us on The World Now. We see President Volodymyr Zelensky meeting with the leaders of the United Kingdom, France and Germany in London at a critical stage of the war. What strategic message would you say he is trying to send to Moscow and Ukraine's international partners?
Thank you for having me. I don't think there's any strategic message they are sending. This war has gone on for 4 years and 4 months. And America has done its best, keep doing its best. The Europeans have jumped in, but Putin has stood his ground and saying this is what he wants. So I don't know what this last meeting is going to do. It is France, Germany, and UK. I mean, those 3 nations, they don't even have very strong ammunition to give to Ukraine to fight. They give them moral support, and then beyond moral support, what else are you going to get? The 2 sides are still bombing each other. I am hoping that with the request for a direct conversation with Putin, maybe Putin will have a change of heart, and then maybe they come to the table. But Putin's insistence is that he doesn't want Ukraine to be a member of NATO. And Ukraine itself say, hey, we are a sovereign nation. We have the right to belong to wherever we want to belong. So, it's just that push and pull we have seen for 4 years. For myself, with what is going on with Iran, Israel, and UK, you see how the attention has shifted. The European countries have always said this European war should not be world war issues. The whole world was dragged into the first one and dragged into the second one, and they still haven't been able to find a way for them to live peacefully. So, if there's a magic wand somebody holds and they're going to wave it and things are going to go better for them, so be it. Other than that, I'm just going to be watching like everybody else.
Well, the London meeting emphasized that the United States must remain actively in any peace process. Is it possible for Europe to effectively drive negotiations on its own, or the American leadership is now more indispensable to achieving a settlement?
Well, I mean, they're the ones that say that America has to be a part of it because they know the collateral value America brings to such a thing. So it is another way of saying, hey, America, come into it. But America is split. There's what is going on in Iran. And then with what is going on in Iran, France and Germany are undermining America. And America said, to hell with you. This is your concern. You go deal with it. But I hope all of that, back and forth is going to come to an end, and we look at diplomacy as a way to resolve this stuff because, the physical destruction of properties and life being lost, those things are gone and they leave scars even when the conflict is over.
Ukrainian drone strikes reportedly reached targets near St. Petersburg. We understand that's President Putin's hometown. How significant would you say this development is militarily? What message do you think they're trying to send to Putin?
Well, I mean, of course, there's a war propaganda, you beat me, I beat you, and everybody's beating their chest. The point is, for 4 years, we have seen this, back and forth. It's a drone. You know, if you can extend the life of your drone, then if you extend the distance, the thing is what military capacity does it have? The longer it goes, does it even carry enough weapon to do the damage, or it just got to be one of those, water in a balloon that is just going to hit something and splash? So we are all watching. I'm just saying it is very unfortunate that in the 21st century, we still have to witness this stuff.
Russia continues to insist that the war will only end when its objectives are met. And based on Moscow's, recent statements and actions, do you believe those objectives today have changed since the start of the invasion?
Well, I mean, Russia has always, found the sticky point in this conflict, and that is they don't want Ukraine to join NATO. And if they have a change of heart, would that mean, they lost, or would they just say stubbornly they're going to insist on that? Remember that in every negotiation, in every conflict, there's a give and take. What are you willing to give? If that is very difficult for them to do, that means this conflict can go on indefinitely. We don't know when it's going to end. But if both sides come in and say, okay, fine, I'm not going to join, or if I join in this capacity, maybe we can advance the objective. But as long as you say you can't join, and it is not fair for Ukraine because Ukraine is a sovereign nation. But at the same time, Russia is insisting that you're going to have to yield to what we want. And, every nation has to have the right to decide what membership they have. But if you are feeling threatened that, having this guy too close, as what we say in America, too close for comfort. If you think that this guy has been a member of NATO is going to endanger your own national security, then, it becomes this tug of war that we don't know who's going to pull and push to a point where both sides are satisfied.
And now we see UK, Germany, and France also back in Ukraine's peace framework. But very quickly, before I let you go, do you see the coming month of this war being defined more by diplomacy or escalation?
All of the above listed below. It's hard to say because 4 years February we're 2022, and now we've seen what we thought was going to be the end of it, and then all of a sudden it's another relay race. So hopefully in the next coming months, we'll see whether anything is going to improve. But so far, Putin is stretching that rubber band, and so far he hasn't broken it, but he's stretching it.
All right, then we went out to see the outcome of this peace framework recently by Ukraine and its impact on Russia specifically. Thank you for talking to us at this time. Global Affairs Analyst Ejike Okwa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.